Hey everyone, it's been a minute. We're back at it though. On today's episode of Toy Tingz, I want to talk about my history with toy photography, how I got into it, and interview some of the gentlemen that continue to inspire me and that have helped me along my journey in this newfound hobby. So stay tuned. Welcome to another episode of Toy Tingz. I know it's been a minute, life stuff getting in the way, new projects. I don't know if any of you guys know, but I am in a music project band with my brother. We moved here from Washington way back in 2010 to pursue music and do other things. So it's been a roller coaster. And since COVID hit, we took a really big break. And now we have all this content and all this new music that we want to perform live. So we're trying to push it back out there and hopefully it goes somewhere. Who knows? But we just want to have fun again, Always want to have fun. But yeah, anyway, music tying into toy collecting. So before I got into toy collecting, all I did in Cali was learn my craft of music and everything that was involved with that. So that was video editing, audio editing, just everything so that I could save $1, right? So I didn't have to hire a producer. I didn't have to hire a videographer, a photographer. So we were going in that, and it was a good side hustle, and it was very fun. Met a lot of people. Went everywhere in the country. But once COVID hit, that put a big pause, to everything. So it was just me and my bro renting a room from this nice elderly gentleman who was able to let us crash there for a minute until we got our shit together. But we were just still writing, and I still had to find another creative outlet because now I had all these new skills and nothing to use it on, right? So I thought back to, I didn't think back, but MCU was definitely heavily binged while we were in quarantine, and I thought about how I hadn't owned an action figure since I was a little kid, and so I randomly searched on Amazon Iron Man action toy, and Marvel Legends popped up, and I think it was the 10-year anniversary for the Avengers movie, so I ordered it. It came, and I was hooked ever since. The quality was crazy. It instantly brought me back to feeling like a kid again. And, when you think the world's ending in the middle of a pandemic and everything's closed, a sense of nostalgia is definitely going to help you from going insane, right? So it turned into daily walks through Target that was right around the street from the room we were renting. And the toy collection grew from there. And obviously it was easy to find the YouTuber Shartimus Prime. Who else? A lot of them. I'm brain farting right now, but it just dove me deeper into it, And I decided to take pictures of Iron Man out of boredom. Transitioning from taking pictures of bands and IG models and various other people that wanted their headshots. So I was using the Iron Man figure as just a model, right? Positioning him and doing all that stuff, trying to make it all badass looking. And I posted it on IG. Some of my friends liked it. Other people were like, "What's going on?" And there was a gentleman named Ryan who went by Tuscan Traders on IG, and he reached out along with a few other gents and said that I should take more photos, and that there's a whole community of people that collect toys and share their toys and share their toy photography tips, and you know, just a nice little pocket of the internet that wasn't girls twerking and stuff. Nothing wrong with that, but it was nice to see a refreshing community, right? So they had invited me into this group chat with other dudes and some females as well. And I found, I guess for lack of a better term, I found my other subgroup of people that helped me, you know, just get through quarantine. And there was just such an immense amount of support there, even outside of just like toy collecting, just like people just checking up on you daily. And it was just great. And Ryan passed recently, and I don't know, I felt like a part of this video outside of giving credit to and giving shout outs to the people that are continuing to follow me and support me on my toy journey. But I felt it important to at least give a shout out to Ryan, who, complete stranger, right? We're all strangers online, and he just reached out and said, hey, I like your shots, man. You should keep going. Here's a whole community of dudes and gals that are in the same boat as you. And yeah, it's just transformed into this. And you know, if you're listening anywhere out there, Ryan, in the universe, thank you. And yeah, I don't know, I don't have any other words, man. But yeah, anyway, that group introduced me to the three gentlemen that I will be interviewing here. They go by the Toy Daddies, and you might have seen them on their various live stream shows that they have on IG and YouTube. But recently they've started to collab with the Toy Pick community page, who's also big on IG. So they started a YouTube channel where they review the top 10 toy photos that's voted by the community. And it was very inspirational. We went from bullshitting in our little group chat to having all these ideas thrown at the wall, and now just to see this happening and flourishing for them on YouTube and for the community. I just wanted to pick their brains about it and get some info, get some insight, and yeah, just see what happens, right? So without further ado, please introduce yourselves, gentlemen, and tell the community of I don't know, the 12 people that watch my show, how you got into toy collecting and how photography entered that picture for you.
Hey, I am Yimbo Reviews Everything.
Hey, what's up? Chris here, aka Toy Father.
Hey all, it's No Chewin', and I started collecting toys when I was a kid. But like many, I stopped collecting in my early 20s when I was in college and had way less money. I picked it back up again in around 2012 when I started to see Star Wars Black Series figures show up in New Rare Comics. And the photography part came, like many, later and during the pandemic.
Yep.
I actually it was because I saw a special on Disney Plus about photography. I saw Mitchell Wu set up a shot, and it inspired me to pick up a camera and give it a go. Luckily enough, there are people like Sir Dork out there that is absolutely willing and creating amazing content to get people started and teach them the tips and tricks of toy photography.
So toys have always been a constant in my life. From my earliest memories of 3 or 4 years old, playing with the Secret Wars Spidey, Captain America, Doctor Doom, the Superpowers Batman, Robin, and Superman, just to name a few of like some of my favorite toys growing up. So they've always been a constant. When I started teaching, when I was 23 years old and getting a big boy paycheck, I was buying toys every week at my local Toys R Us. And then I hit that point where I needed to move out and have an apartment, and I didn't want to have toys everywhere, which is so silly now. But yeah, I went through that little phase, so I was buying collectibles. But it wasn't until December of 2019 when I made my Instagram account and decided to start sharing my toy collection that the photography piece then came into it. So I would say I went like almost half a year So from like January of 2020 until August of 2020, just doing toy stuff. And August was my first baby step into the toy photography world.
Nice.
I started collecting toys ever since I was little. I love toys, especially Marvel toys, Ninja Turtles, Transformers. Those were the things that I loved. Ghostbusters. Ghostbusters was a good one.
Yeah.
Well, just like everyone else, I went in and out. I mean, I didn't have any money, like, growing up, a whole lot of money to buy whatever I wanted. But as an adult, I found that I did have some income that I could spend on my hobby, which was collecting toys. Just like everyone else, I think, most people that we know, I got into toy photography during the pandemic. I saw that there was a community that took pictures of their toys. So I just took vanilla photos of my figures just standing there. I remember my first photo, it was the Nightfall Azrael Batman. And I just took a picture, and that's it. And then from there, I started buying diodes and started talking to people in the community, upgraded my camera, and now I'm just way too deep.
Nice. So how did the Toy Pick community, the TPC, and the Toy Daddies link? How did you guys link up and come up with the idea for the YouTube channel?
So the top 10 Toy Pick community, the TPC top 10, came up or kind of brewed as an idea when Toy Pick community reached out to me and No Chewing after we did the New Jersey Toy Con. We had interviewed some local toy vendors there, and we had some great energy, and it was a lot of fun. And he wanted to know whether or not we wanted to collab somehow. And so we pitched him the idea of doing the top 10 on a YouTube channel that was all Toy Pick community. So we thought we'd just start small and do the top 10 every week, because that work was already done for us and we just review it. And the whole vision of the TPC top 10 is to create a positive toy community environment. Yes. Where everyone is welcome and everyone feels good about it.
Yes.
And what really we want to do is just grow and make sure this community gets highlighted, and for everyone in the community to feel like they belong.
We're obviously incredibly honored. It's the coolest thing to be able to, come on once a week and be able to celebrate all the wonderful artwork that happens around the Instagram Toy Pick community. And it's just really awesome. It's the best.
Very cool. Very cool. What would you say your favorite thing about the toy community is?
It's the friendship.
Yep.
The friendship by far is the best part of the toy community. I never would have imagined that I would have gotten as close to as many people as I've had, that I view now as close friends, people that I've met in person, people that I look forward to meeting in person. But when I first started, thinking about sharing my toy collection on the internet, I would have never imagined that I would be making the connections that I've made. And each week on the Toy Pick Community Top 10, we ask what brings you joy in the toy community. And it's that sentiment that keeps a permanent smile on my face and the faces of Toy Father No Chewing. It's the best. The friendship and support, there's nothing like it.
So you guys are the Toy Daddies. How do you balance being a toy photographer, being a social media entrepreneur, I don't know if you would call that, a host, and also being a dad? How do you balance all of that?
I always prioritize family above all. Above the photography, the live streams, the social media interactions. For me, family will always come first. But how do I make it a little bit more fun for those that are in my family and see this hobby? I bring my kids into this all the time.
Nice.
I've been teaching my daughter how to use a digital camera, and my son loves to unbox things with me. And he's learned to be very respectful of collector items, which is great because we've had very few breakages.
It's hard. I'm not gonna lie. It's challenging because my kids are my top priority. My wife knows that. She's right there. If they're 1A, she's 1B. But my kids are my top priority. So that means being selfless, not wanting to look at my phone, even though I might want to look at notifications when they're around because I want to give them all of my attention.
Right.
I'm not perfect in that by any means. Of course, I'm going to sneak peeks and try to get back to people, and there's things that I want to do. But my kids have my full attention when they, as they're awake. So yeah, it is a challenge. It's been hard trying to juggle making content, buying toys when the kids are very expensive, worthwhile, worth it, but they are an expense. So being able to juggle that's been tough, but you make do. I mean, I figure things like, obviously a huge thing is like I can't get everything. I know I joke that like Gimbal buys everything, but I definitely do not. I also have to sell a lot of old toys on eBay. I try not to fleece people, but like that's trying to have a budget to buy new toys to talk about. So there's that financial juggling to contend with.
Right.
There's the issue of time and being able to be as supportive as I want to be, on Instagram, TikTok, YouTube, while also making my own content, which takes a lot of time to edit, to set up shots and all of that. So yeah, there's no answer. It's just a challenge, but it's a challenge I enjoy. So I just do the best I can with it.
Another thing that has been very helpful with balancing both my personal life and this, fantastic hobby is limiting myself about what figures I pick up. Especially in year 3 of heavy collecting, I'm very selective about what ends up on the shelf behind me. And with that, we're doing a 52 figure challenge. So I'm limiting myself to 52 new figures for the year based on purchases within this year. Stay tuned with me. End of year, we'll see how things shake out. If I'm at over 100, I'll feel personally a bit, failed, but I'll probably love every figure that I do have.
What are your guys' thoughts on the recent price inflations on toys and this windowless packaging?
When it comes to inflation, yeah, I recognize that prices have gone up, and that is unfortunate. I do see it across everything that I buy, not just toys. So for me, it's kind of becoming is what it is. And luckily enough, I'm doing that figure challenge. So I'm limiting myself.
It doesn't really bother me, nor do I think it's a huge price increase. The only thing I really noticed, I've kind of gone away from collecting Marvel Legends and McFarlane's. I'll pick one up every now and then, but really I've been concentrating on like third-party vendors that I find on 5K.
Nice, yeah.
Such as I just bought that recent Return of the King Superman. That's a fantastic figure. I love Mezco. I love Mafex. I love Figuarts. Their prices kind of increased a little bit, but it's nothing that it's like $100 figure. So if I'm going to buy a $100 figure, I know it's going to be a good figure.
Inflation stinks. As positive as I try to be, because I don't want to add to that negative noise that's always out on the internet. It hits me, it hurts me, the inflation, the profiteering, because that's a lot of it too, is, just being a little guy, knowing I'm a little person in the world and that there are people with godlike amounts of money that want to make more money, and they're not considering the consumer in some cases.
Right.
When it comes to the windowless packaging, I'm for it in a lot of respects, especially if it's like not exactly a collector side, but more of a kid side. A lot of those, twist ties and clips and all these things that you would have to cut off if it's for a doll for a kid or a play set or, a talking dog. It's a lot. And I agree that should be, streamlined to limit how many fasteners and ties and plastic goes into the environment. For the collector side, I recognize that, some do it better than others. Like G.I. Joe, I find that they are the gold standard. If you are doing a windowless package, they do it best. When you pull out the trays, it's well designed. The little baggies inside have those logos that you'd recognize for G.I. Joe, so it makes it a little special. And if there is a box inside there, they decorate it to look like a cargo container or an armory stash. And I find that, that little extra bit of design helps the windowless packaging.
The windowless packaging, the price hikes of $3 or $4 doesn't necessarily bother me too much. It's happening everywhere. It's in our grocery stores. The inflation's happening everywhere. It's grocery stores, every product that you have, an 8-9% increase. So, I mean, I'm not necessarily really annoyed by just the inflation of toys, but mainly everything else.
How do you feel the quality of the toys are now versus then?
In terms of the quality of those figures, Mafex, Mezco, and SH Figure Arts, I think the qualities are fine. The quality of the figure has always been great. In terms of Marvel Legends, I mean, I think sometimes their plastic gets a little rubbery, but I do prefer some of the older Legends, mainly because of the designs, and that plastic seems a little bit more sturdy.
I don't think that they've decreased. In fact, one of my favorite figures from 2015 or so was Marvel Legends Magneto. It was from the Toys R Us exclusive wave. And as much as I loved that figure for years and years, the articulation wasn't there. The wrists don't actually move, which is interesting for a figure like that. So today, when I look at figures that are coming out and they have this amazing range of articulation, I think the quality is going up in that respect.
Quality in toys has absolutely decreased. For sure. The quality of the plastic, the gumminess of Marvel Legends. Even my latest Mezco it's the Conan the Conqueror. And I noticed that he's a little on the gummier side too, compared to previous Mezco releases. So yeah, that's taken a hit too. I had an Iron Man. All I did was take him off the shelf. Like, he was just standing there, and I just lifted him from the bottom. That was it, and that broke. So that makes me worried about, like, 2020 plastic. So I worry about it. I worry about it to an extent. How much I can worry about, I can't worry about it too much. So I'm gonna enjoy the toys that I enjoy. I'm gonna keep my fingers crossed.
Do you think domestic U.S. toys will ever be up to par, or in competition with the import toys from Japan and overseas and stuff like that?
Do I think it will eventually, collide and become competitive with each other? I do. I think so. I don't think it's going to be the imports being able to lower their prices, but I think the stateside, they'll find that fans are buying these more expensive figures and start to invest in that that level of quality and what $100 price point can actually afford a figure.
Will the States compete with overseas? Not at the moment. I mean, G.I. Joes were probably the closest in terms of delivering a premium import figure with like the drop down hips and everything, but their quality's gone down. Legends have made vast improvements, like the Amazing Fantasy Spider-Man Buck, easily still my favorite Spider-Man Buck. And that's getting closer, but then they're still doing, like, Hasbro still makes decisions that are weird. Like, if they combined Renew Your Vows and Amazing Fantasy with the drop down hips, the articulated toes, then yeah, they would be competing and getting close. But they still play these games where they won't give us the perfect figure.
Right.
So they have to buy all of the pieces, all of the different versions. And like, that's for me. I'm out of that game. I won't be doing it. So no, I don't see it happening in the near future.
All right, guys, please plug your social medias. Anything that the viewers need to get involved with or check out. Yeah, go ahead, list them away.
Well, I'm always plugging. I always like to plug our show Toy Talk, which is Mondays on YouTube. Check the link in the bio at 8:30 Eastern Standard Time. We always have a great guest. It's myself, No Chewing, Cox Create, and Toy Addict 17, and we have a great time. And every Wednesdays live at 9 p.m. Eastern Standard Time, we have the TPC Top 10. That's right, the TPC Top 10 with the Toy Daddies, myself, Yimbo, reviews everything, and No Chewing. And we go on a journey of the weekly Top 10 that Toy Pick community has graciously put together, and you, the people, have voted on. So check us out on YouTube, click subscribe, like, all that stuff. We appreciate all of you because it's for you.
If you'd like to give me a follow on Instagram, you can find me at no.chewing. I post fairly regularly. If you'd like to hear more of me, I'm on actually 2 shows now. I'm on Monday nights at 8:30 on Toy Talk with Toy Father, Cox Crate, and Toy Addict 17. On Wednesdays, you can find me on the Toy Pick Community channel on YouTube, hosting the Top 10 with Toy Father and Yimbo Reviews Everything, the Toy Daddies.
So every Sunday night at 8 p.m. Eastern Standard Time, I have a show. I call it Yimbo Buys Everything. It's on my Yimbo Reviews YouTube channel. And it's a show where I talk about life and toys and just trying to put positive, looking to the positive of all this stuff. You can also find me on TikTok as Yimbo Reviews Everything, Twitter as Yimbo Reviews, don't really do anything there, and then Instagram. So Instagram, YouTube, and Twitter are the big 3 platforms that you can find me at Yimbo Reviews Everything.
Thank you for joining me. Thank you guys for taking time out of your day to answer these questions, to jump on this Toy Tingz episode. Thank you to everyone that watched. Thank you.
88 Figs, thank you so much for this honor, man. This has been the coolest thing. Just being considered as someone that you'd want to hear from. So thank you very much for this honor. Your YouTube channel is amazing. I want all the best for you, all of the successes. Just thank you so much for doing this, and look forward to future toy projects with you, buddy. Peace.
88, thank you for having us on. We really appreciate it. And for those that have watched, thank you for giving us any moment of your day. We really appreciate it. All right. Goodbye, y'all.
Thank you, 88 Figs. You are the man. I really enjoy your radio voice. I wish I had one of those. I don't like my voice, but I love your voice, and it sounds great. And thank you, YouTube fans. Please subscribe, like, all that. Can't wait to see you all.
Subscribe to Flavored Trash on YouTube and watch Toy Tingz with 88 Figs.